This is a good verse. Yepi anya devata bhakta vajanti sharadan vitaha yepi mam eva kunteya vajanti aviri purvakam. So Srila Prabhupada used to use these last two words, aviri purvakam, in his lectures and so on to the Indian. It means aviri means knowledge. So aviri means without understanding, without proper understanding. They are worshipping the demigods, thinking that the demigods are independent. Translation. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Avidipurvakam, in a wrong way. That means millions of people, especially in India. They worship Shiva, they worship Ganesh, they worship Saraswati, they worship Durga. But they're doing it in a wrong way. Actually, Krishna is the source of everything, material and spiritual. We'll read that in the next chapter. Chapter 10, text 8. Aham sarvasya paravo iti mata vidantanam buddha bhava samantitaha. So this is the intelligent person. He knows where to put the worship. Sometimes we give the example of watering the root of the tree. If we put water on the leaf without going to the root, it won't benefit the tree. So we want to have the best thing we have. Lord Jesus said, don't give your pearl to the swine. What is the pearl? The pearl is the best thing you have. What is that? Your adoration, your love, your full respect. So that should be given to Krishna, or Krishna's representative. If we give it to others, then we're putting our pearls before the swine. They don't know how to deal with it. Just like we see that in the material world. Somebody becomes very, very famous, a musician or a pop star or something. Invariably, they go crazy with the fame. They don't know how to handle it. They know they're not special. They know that they're sinful. So when someone is given that much acclaim and they don't deserve it, they become crazy. And it comes into Iskcon too. We saw some of the gurus became crazy, thinking that they're on the same level of Prabhupada, and therefore demanding the same kind of worship and respect that we gave to Prabhupada. That was an insanity. Therefore, nectar of instruction we can read. And someone who imitates a Mahabhagavad, he eventually becomes degraded. So we have to learn what is our position, what is other living entities' position, what is Krishna's position. So Krishna we worship, other living entities according to their adhikari, means their qualification. If they're more advanced than us, then we listen to them. We praise them, we thank them. If they're equal with us, we make friends and we should reel our mind in a very friendly way. If they're less advanced, we show mercy. We don't show mercy to those who are more advanced. Mercy is coming down. Shakespeare, what does he say? Mercy is, what is it? Who knows that? The quality of mercy is not strained. It's not a strain. It droppeth from the heavens like a gentle rain. It's twice blessed. It blesses those who give and those who receive. So mercy is such a wonderful quality that even the ordinary poets are singing about it. They know there's something there that's extraordinary. But we have to know how to receive it. First of all, if we don't get the mercy, how can we give it? But this is the first qualification. Prabhupada is giving mercy to everyone who comes in contact with him. His books are here. I remember we were reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam, was it second canto or something, where Narada Muni appeared. First canto, I guess. And he was preaching to his disciple,
Vyas.
Vyas wasn't satisfied. Although he had written all Mahabharata, so many things, he felt some dissatisfaction. So his spiritual master, Narada, didn't understand that. And so he came to him, and he gave him mercy. So mercy we get from above. But we have to be qualified. We have to want it. We have to know how to receive it. I saw it with Srila Prabhupada. Remember we were staying at John Lennon's estate for some time, and There was somebody else was staying there too, a nice boy, young boy, and maybe it wasn't John was there, but somewhere in London. Anyway, he was living just next to Prabhupada. And he was a nice boy. I spoke to him. I said, you know, you're really fortunate. You're living next to a pure devotee. But he couldn't really get into it. He didn't take advantage of it. He could have come and heard Prabhupada speak. He was speaking every morning, every evening. But so this is what we see practically. That we don't know how to receive mercy. Even it's being given. Of course, just appreciating Prabhupada. Once Prabhupada asked me, we were doing Harinama in London, on Oxford Street, 1969, and I was in charge of taking the party out. And Prabhupada asked me, so how are the people receiving this Harinam party? And I said, Srila Prabhupada, a lot of people appreciate it. Just like today, right? A lot of people appreciate it. Not everyone, but a lot of people were appreciating, smiling, dancing. So, and then Prabhupada said, just by appreciating, they make advancement. So this is a real mercy. Go out every day if you can. Chant Hare Krishna. Some people will appreciate for sure. And just by appreciating, they'll make it. And if they join us for 5 minutes, then they make more advancement. Like those Indian men were dancing with us for 2 minutes. They make substantial advancement. Maybe it'll take a few more lifetimes, but then again they'll meet the devotee. And that Agyata Sukriti, even unknowingly, they're doing something so transcendental, that'll increase. And so that in the future, they can become also full-time devotees, like we're aspiring to become. So this is the most fortunate position to become a devotee of the Lord. And in the Kali Yuga, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada, it's been made very easy. Everybody has a tongue and an ear. We can make quick advancement by this chanting. And then Prabhupada said, all you need is an ear to begin. And then he kind of like afterthought. But if you're deaf, then you can also benefit because you can read the philosophy, and in your mind you can become convinced. So everybody's welcome to hear this message. Purport: persons who are engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent. Although such worship is offered to me indirectly, Krishna says. For example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulatory principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the law made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officer and director is illegal. That is stated here as avidi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. So we have Hindus coming. This is a good verse to introduce them. Try to make them understand that there's a difference between Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva. Like the demigods are all Vishnu Tattva, Jiva Tattva. And the incarnations of the Lord, like Rama, Nishinga, Varaha, so on, they're Vishnu Tattva. So if somebody's worshipping Vishnu Tattva, we don't disturb their mind. Like there's a story from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think it was Murari Gupta. The devotees were all preaching to him, you should worship Lord Krishna, but he was a Ram Bhakta. So after hearing them so many arguments about Krishna's position, then he went home, and the next day he came, and he was miserable. He said, I couldn't give up the worship of Ram. I heard all your arguments, but my heart wouldn't move from the lotus feet of Lord Ram. Then all the devotees called out very loudly, Hanuman! They saw him as Hanuman. That he shouldn't change. We don't ask Hanuman to become a Krishna Bhakta. Sita Ram is in their heart. So that's good. There's a Vishnu Tattva. They're going to go to the spiritual world. They're going to get out of the material. But worshipping the demigod, you'll come back again. If you may advance, you may go to Indraloka or Ramaloka, but unless you become pure devotee, you have to come back. Now, we read that verse the other night. You have to come back again into the human form of life, and again start it, because you're doing it in a wrong way. Avidipurva. So we're taking so much trouble. We should do it in the right way. That's the point. Any questions so far? Otherwise, I'll do another verse. One more verse.
Yeah.
24. Aham hi sava yagyanam bhokta cha prabhu eva cha natumam avijananti tatpenatas yavanti te. Translation. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Report. Here it is very clearly stated that there are many types of yagya performances recommended in the Vedic literature. But actually, all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yagya means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should work only for satisfying Yagya or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization, known as Varnashram Dharma, is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent person, however, but not knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefits. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. So, what is the desired result? We desire to get out of the cycle of birth and death and to enter into the spiritual world. That's the desire, but is what brought us here. And so by desire we can go back. Desire is in our hand. But we desire temporary, paltry things, small things. The example is given, right? Man does a wonderful service for the king because he saved his son from drowning. And the king wants to repay him. And he wants to give him something, whatever he can. It's a very valuable thing. And so he asked him, what can you do? I want to repay you for saving my son. He said, you can give me a handful of ashes. Is that very intelligent? So that's it. We're coming in front of Krishna and we're asking for a new car, a good grades in school, or something like that. We want to have something for our temporary satisfaction. So we should be intelligent of, we're coming in front of Krishna daily, we're praying to him. We should pray for the thing that's most valuable. What is that? Please, Krishna, pick me up from this ocean of birth and death. Place me as an atom at your lotus feet. This is the proper prayer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us. But we're so attached that we go back again to wanting a material advantage. So Krishna may give us that, like he gave Dhruva, but why not go directly? That's the purport of these verses. You want to reach your nose, you can come to your nose like this, around your head, or you can come directly. So why not come directly? This is the intelligence. Proper use of intelligence is directly take. And Prabhupada is doing that. He's immediately engaging us in Krishna's service. From the very beginning, we saw he was taxing his brain, bending over backwards to engage whoever came to him in Krishna's service. And because he was a pure devotee, he was able to say, if you serve me, then you serve Krishna. I remember we were with Srila Prabhupada once in London, early days, and One devotee came, we were sitting with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was speaking something, there were maybe 5 or 6 of us, and this devotee came in, and Prabhupada asked him, so Ishan, his name was Ishan, I think he's still an active devotee. His name was Ishan, he said. He was a little mental. So Prabhupada asked him, so Ishan, you remembering Krishna? So Ishan said, well, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada immediately could see he was on the mental platform. So he said, that's okay. You can remember me remembering Krishna. And that's Prabhupada made it easy for us. We can remember Srila Prabhupada easily because we're trying to push on his movement. We're bringing people to his Iskcon society. He founded this society. So we're assisting him. So in that assistance, we are looking for more assistance also. So in this way, we keep Prabhupada in the center. This is what he advised, keep the Acharya in the center. We should do that. We have in every temple. Prabhupada Murti is there. Prabhupada's books are there. We're not reading some other Bhagavad Gita. No, we're reading Prabhupada's books. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya. So Prabhupada has made it easy for us. Keep him in the center. Then Krishna will be even more pleased. Lord Shiva, he was asked by his wife Parvati, what is the best kind of worship? So Lord Shiva answered, immediate answer, he said, worship of Lord Vishnu is the best. But then he qualified more. He said, actually, worship of the devotee of Vishnu is even better. Why is that? Because the Lord is pleased when he sees his devotee is pleased. He loves the devotees more than himself. How can that be? It is true. He loves Uddhava more than himself. So we should understand how much he loves Srila Prabhupada. So if we struggle to glorify Prabhupada by pushing on his movement, by preaching about him, by keeping him in the center, then Krishna will be more pleased with us than if we just want to become Krishna warriors. Okay, any questions?
This Ainanda Tanuja, place me as an atom at your lotus feet. Please pick me up. It's a spiritual desire. Huh?
Yeah.
And before that he had said, I will just want to serve you birth after birth, but the two are similar.
Yeah, but that question was asked to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, can we desire to go back to Godhead? And Prabhupada said yes. We could. We came here by desire, but by desire we can go back. Of course, the fastest way to go back is to serve Srila Prabhupada. That's the point we're making. So we don't, we won't be just trying to please ourselves, we're trying to please Prabhupada. And we know by pleasing Prabhupada, Krishna will be pleased. And when Krishna's pleased, then we're going to go back to the spiritual world. We don't have to remain in this world of birth and death. Or if we choose to remain, that may be very advanced devotee. We may decide, I want to stay and in the material world to help reclaim the fallen soul. But don't artificially present like that. Rather, we should see that this is a place of misery, and we take impetus from that. Maya's kicking us, we take impetus from that. Okay, anyone else? Do you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the same verse actually. When it's let me be an atom at your lotus feet. Is that like figuratively, or is that like literally?
Well, I mean, it's true. We're the Amsa, Amavamsa Jivaloke. So we're the small fragment of Krishna. So whether you call it an atom or a small particle, same idea. But now we're separated. We're separated due to false ego. Through the false ego, we desire to be in the center. We want to be the enjoyer, the proprietor, the controller. But that's Krishna's position. We want to be the most famous devotee. That's also not a pure desire. We want to be the servant of the servant of the servant, 100 times removed. We don't want to see, we don't want desire to be famous. The Bhaktivinoda cautions against this desire for fame. He compares it to the stool of a hog. Ordinary stool has some value because the hogs eat it. But hog stool, even the hogs won't eat it. So he compares it to that, his desire for fame. So we don't want to be famous. We're happy to be insignificant. Servant of the servant. When we read Prabhupada's poem, right? He signs it. Most insignificant, beggar. He's really thinking like that. Prabhupada talks about Krishnadas Kaviraj when he says, I feel myself lower than a worm in a stool. Prabhupada said he's not falsely humble. He really feels like that. So maybe it's hard for us to relate to that at our stage. But the Mahabhagavat, he can feel like that. And he's thinking, everybody's serving Krishna except me. But the Madhyam, Prabhupada wanted us to be Madhyams because we preach. So he makes distinction. He says, someone is less advanced than me, so I show them mercy. I preach to them. That's required in our mission. We're Goshtanamis, we preach. So we have to make distinction. Who is more advanced, who is less advanced. That means we have to be honest about our actual position. So we don't pretend that we're less advanced than we are. Otherwise the preaching will stop. You know? Well, we have time, huh? I could read another verse. Yeah.
To not pretend we are less advanced than we are.
Yeah.
So one example is, I believe chanting of Hare Krishna is beneficial, so I can take part in Harinam. I mean, I should not doubt the value of Harinam. I should not say I'm too fallen to go out on Harinam.
Yeah, that's what we're not too fallen to take the process because Prabhupada was taking it. I told a story, right? He was coming on the Rath Yatra in London, what was it, 75? And he wouldn't sit on the cart. They probably, we made a seat for you on Subhadra's cart. I think they had 3 carts. And Prabhupada said, no, I want to walk. But he didn't sit. He walked and he was dancing the whole way. Thank you. Anyone else? Isn't it better and it's quiet?
Srila Prabhupada was in his 70s and he was dancing,
Yeah.
not sitting, although he was offered.
Yeah. He must have been close to 80. He was born in 96, right? This must have been 75, so he was 79 or 80. And he walked the whole way. Anyone else?
I have more, but maybe we'll repeat.
No, I can answer more questions or I can read another verse.
I was just wondering this about the atom. So it's like a figurative speech to take a humble position, being happy to be a humble servant of Krishna. It's because it also says that when we go back to the spiritual world, or even ontologically, we have one of 5 rasas with Krishna. So it just seems to me that if it's literal, I don't know, this is recurring in since years actually. So are we an Amsa? Okay. Are we really an atom? What kind of relationship an atom can have with Krishna? I know I'm insignificant, but I also long for a relationship.
Yeah, so that is he probably explained in the Gita that we have a spiritual body with form, head, arms, so on. So by chanting Hare Krishna, that spiritual body will become manifest. It's already there, and now it's covered by a false ego and false body. But go on with the chanting, then you'll understand your Swarup. What is your actual constitutional position in relationship with Krishna? What is your rasa with Krishna? These things will be revealed to you. So it's not that you're just an atom, but you have form also, spiritual form. The description is there in Bhagavatam. The residents of Vaikuntha, they look just like Vishnu. They have 2 arms and 2 legs. They're walking and so on.
Thank you. And how do we then understand this? I think it's from the Shvetasvatara Upanishad or something, that there's this point of a hair and you cut it in 10,000. So it's
1/10,000th the tip of a hair.
that looks like an atom to me.
Yeah. So but still, it's a relative. It may be atom, but it doesn't mean it can't have form. In other words, with a powerful microscope, you can see things that you can't see with your eye. So that example is given just to make us understand that we shouldn't be proud that we're great devotees or great something. Like I said, famous. We don't want to get into that, and that's generally how we fall down. The living entities fall down because of false ego. They think they're more than they are. So that verse is there to remind us we're a tiny particle of Krishna. But still it's a glorious thing, and within that, just like with a powerful microscope, you can see the tiny insects. They also have their life that's going on. They have their female insect, and they have their children, but we can't see it. So something like that. It's there. It'll be manifest to us. So we won't feel like we're small. We'll feel like we have the same kind of body as Krishna or Vishnu. Of course, that is not there in Goloka Vrindavan, that kind of relationship with Krishna. So generally, the Gaudiya Vaishnava, their rasa is either gopi or a cowherd boy. That's what I have come to understand. So that will be revealed to us. We shouldn't be too preoccupied with understanding what is our rasa, but we should understand we do have a rasa, our original constitutional position, that will be revealed to us as we qualify. But as long as there's false ego, then we don't qualify. That's all right?
Yeah, thank you.
So Maharaj, some people nowadays are saying that we're like a fixed, we're like a blank slate, and we don't.
The Buddhists say that. We don't say that. Krishna says the first instruction by Krishna, you and I and all these kings, we've always existed in the past. We're existing now as individuals, in the future also. This is the first verse, was it 2:12, right?
Yes, 12.
So, what is a blank slate?
Some
Blank
some
slate.
Vaishnavas are also saying like this, that the guru gives the relationship at initiation or something.
No. The relationship is eternal. You already had the relationship. It's your constitutional position. The Guru can help you uncover you that. By his mercy, you can realize who you are, but he doesn't give it to you. Where will he get the power to give you? He himself is a small, tiny jiva. But because he's fully surrendered, but Krishna works through him. We saw that Prabhupada, some devotees were starting to say Prabhupada is God. He threw them out of his movement. He's not God. He never claimed to be God. Where did I write that, Prabhupada said? Where did I ever say I was God? So, the Guru doesn't have the power to give you rasa. Rasa is already there. That's coming into Iskcon, that kind of class?
It's on these podcasts. It's going around different.
Yeah, on the internet you can find so many things. You have to be intelligent enough not to get drawn into it. There's so much nonsense there. These poison bodies that Prabhupada was poisoned, that's all bogus. I was there. Nobody poisoned Prabhupada with the idea to kill him. No.
Prasadam is ready.
Hmm?
Prasad is ready. We get the message.
Yeah, that's already too. The next verse is the real Prasad. Text 25. Yanti deva vrata devan kikinyanti sutirvata utanti yanti bhuteja yanti man kajinopimam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. So it was very clear. You buy a ticket to, where are we here now? We're in Amsterdam. If you buy a ticket to Geneva, you go to Geneva. You don't go to Warsaw. It's common sense. Report. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for that purpose, such as the process technique known as Darsha Purnamasi. These are vividly described in the fruit of action portion of the Vedas, which recommend a specific worship of demigods stated on different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pita planet by performing a specific yagya. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or pischa. Pisacha. Thank you. Worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art, and they think that it is spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieves the planet of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if one simply worships the demigod, one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas, achieve the Pita planet, or by practicing the black arts, achieve the ghostly planets. Why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of the Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live. Because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahma Jyoti. The Krishna conscious movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Okay, now we can think about Prashad.
His Holiness Tirukram Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Maharaj, we'd like to officially welcome you to Iskcon Amsterdam, to the temple. And thank you for going with us on Harinam also.
No, I want to thank you for singing so wonderful. Where do you get the strength to sing with such enthusiasm?
I used to
Such a
want
strong voice.
I wanted to be famous, very much. So I was in a girl band, but then Krishna saved me and put me in the Hare Krishna. Specifically, it's the enthusiasm and encouragement of His Holiness Krishna Maharaj. He called me his songbird. He didn't like my singing, so he said also, I always want to see you singing. And also, His Holiness Kesha Party, Taskoswami, he always says that I should go on Harinam. That's my service. So I know it's the only thing that, if I ever go back, that would be too late. So I just jump for it and try.
I'm the same way. I like to chant.
No?
So you can bless me to live a few more years. I can continue.
If you want that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, my mantra ki.
Jai.
Holy names bless you to go on, being reverberated through you.
Where am I staying tonight?
We go from here to your place. It's about 40 minutes drive.
Yeah, only.
So you have to take that now.
If you make small announcement.
I'm going to stay here and say like, okay.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, His Holiness Kirtan Swami Maharaj is a senior disciple of Srila
They know
Prabhupada.
that. They know that.
You are visiting for first time. Yeah. Maharaj is 82 years old and
Huh?
sannyasi.
18! Haribo!
You trying to say I'm old?
Maharaj has said rendered so many personal services to Srila Prabhupada, and so many of such stories and pastimes are being presented in this book, Maharaj's spiritual autobiography. and it's available. Whoever would like to purchase it for a small donation, Maharaj will personally sign.
Yes.
Yes. So they can come to me and.
Meanwhile, we serve the prasadam here. We make lines.
Yes. Is it possible to pay with card? I'm not sure that I have. Will you come tomorrow?
You stand up and
I will come tomorrow.